Hey everybody, welcome to today's episode of Daily IoT. Quick one for you today. Let's talk about sourcing things from China. I am striking out lately. If you've been following me on Instagram, I got my USB sample cables. They're supposed to be micro USB so that that plug into the side of the puck through the little hole here to charge and possibly update firmware. They sent me USB-C cables. Took about a month to get here after all the back and forth and processing payment and signing up for Alibaba and all this other stuff. And I got the wrong cables. And I couldn't really understand the last Chinese to English translation message that they sent me, so I have no idea if they're gonna send me another batch. I might just have to stick with Amazon on the first run to get cables. Trying to save some money, buying from China. It hasn't worked out for me yet, but I had better hopes, higher hopes for my puck order. You know, I decided to go with blank pucks for the first run of 100. I'm going to do a couple of specialty ones for me personally, like a Cap Stanley Cup puck and things like that, but otherwise I'm doing blank pucks for the first run. So I figure, why pay $2 or $3 for pucks when I could get them from China? You know, official NHL odorless even. Pucks for like 69 cents a piece. Seemed like a great deal. So I ordered again a sample. I didn't want to order a full batch right out the gate. And so I ordered a couple of samples, 2 pucks. Those just got here today. I can't remember if I mentioned on a previous episode I had ordered some pucks from Amazon to take down to the CNC shop, the machine shop here locally, but they stunk really, really bad, like ashtray smell. It's like rubber mixed with a little bit of like cigarette. It was really weird, but anyway, these pucks that I got from China, specifically in the description, said that they were odorless, official NHL size, and so I ordered them, and it looks like a beautiful puck. It's, you know, it's got the knurling on the side of it, and looks to be about the right size, but when I held it up like this next to an existing one, I said, that looks just a hair shorter, and also just a hair smaller in diameter. And so I got my calipers out and measured it, and indeed it is 1 millimeter thinner than an official puck, which I was pretty proud for being able to notice with my eye. And it is 2 millimeters shorter in diameter. And so at first I was thinking, oh, maybe that's not that big of a deal, but then I got to thinking, when you look at this and the cavity is CNC'd out of the puck, the walls right here in the corner, right there, and up here and again over here, these walls are only 3 millimeters thick. And if I shorten the diameter by 2 millimeters, I'm taking 1 millimeter off of both ends, which means those walls are now only 2 millimeters thick, which is starting to get, they're already pretty thin, but it still feels really solid when the case is inside. 2 millimeters is starting to get really close, and I'm worried about CNC tolerances and things like that. So I think that's a deal breaker on its own. Also, the cavity's pretty deep, and once you've CNC'd it out, you can really feel some play in this bottom part of the case if you push on it with your thumb. Not enough that you're just going to push your thumb through it or anything like that, but you can definitely feel the flex. And so I'm also worried about that 1 millimeter shorter is could be an issue with that wall on the bottom getting too thin. And so, you know, the short version of that story is the very cheap 69-cent pucks from China are just not going to cut it. And so I've already reached out to actually a stateside supplier that I can order batches of 100 of official pucks that are made in, not China, some other European country, I can't remember which one, that I'm trying to reach out to see if I can get some samples of those. So I'm still on the hunt for a puck supplier and kind of striking out with China, the USB cables and now the pucks. I think there's definitely some money to be saved if you can set up a supply chain with Chinese suppliers. However, in the last several weeks that I've been dealing with that, definitely something that takes some getting used to and certainly some amount of experience translating from Chinese to English. And I think they're just running my messages through a translator into Chinese, trying to understand what I said in my English. Then they respond in Chinese and send it through a translator that comes back and I get it in English, which is, you know, if you've ever read like a Chinese translation of a data sheet, it's very garbled, but you can normally get the idea. That's what it's like communicating. You got to do it all at night. things like that if you want to have a conversation back and forth due to the time difference. And so definitely some things that you need to work out if you're going to try and do supply chain stuff through China. I still have hopes of being able to do some of that, but for the initial run, I'm not that concerned on saving, 40 cents, 50 cents a puck while I'm proving out market and things like that. But I was just trying to I figured if it was easy enough to set up from the start that I should do that, but not as easy as it sounds. Oh, just order everything from China and step 2, profit. So definitely not the case that I've experienced so far. Maybe I'm just terrible at it. I don't know. So that is the update for today. Question of the day: have you had similar experiences trying to order things from China? Would love to hear about any war stories that you have, successes, massive failures, ordering things through China. Stick it in the comments below. I would love to hear about it. So would everybody else that's watching the show. And so thank you so much for watching. If you're not, I've mentioned this a few times before, if you're not following on Instagram, you should head over there and follow if you want to get more behind the scenes stuff. I'm been far more active on Instagram the last week than I have been posting stuff to YouTube. This takes much more time than just picking up my cell phone and shooting some stuff and putting it straight out into Instagram, Facebook, things like that, even Twitter, pretty active there. So check me out over there if you want more sort of daily behind the scenes stuff. I know the show's Daily IoT. Don't give me a hard time about that. I'm still working through that. But Instagram's the place to be if you want to get all of the latest updates as they're happening. Otherwise, I'll continue to post here. And again, thank everybody who is watching. I appreciate everybody that's watching, especially those that are commenting. If you've been watching for a while and you've never left a comment, now is the time to leave a comment, even if it's just to say hi so that I know you're out there. Would love to get more comments just to know that people are out there and paying attention and listening. I respond to every single person, so hit me up in the comments below. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching Daily IoT, the show where together we're learning how to make the Internet of Things one day at a time.